So I actually have to thank the IAB and the digital community out here for creating all of that chaos and all of that competition for us. Frankly, it actually made us a lot stronger. Whether you sit on the publisher side, the ad tech side, our ability to now adapt and embrace data, embrace technology, came on the back of your pushing and your prodding, sometimes you becoming a competitor to us, sometimes we felt like you might have threatened our relationships, but all of this made agencies stronger and more focused than ever. And while I doubt there are many of them, I do have to ask if there are any procurement people in the room as well. Because yes, as you know, procurement too was labeled as the demise of the agencies and putting a lot of pressure on us. But actually what they did was channeled the challenges that our marketers and clients are facing, the pressures to do a lot more with a lot less. That forced hard choices at the agency level, and it demanded a certain effectiveness against the efficiency KPIs. You really demanded that we delivered hard on that. And in time, as those KPIs become much more measurable, much more sophisticated, as they switch to more effectiveness instead of just efficiencies, we are going to be much better set up to both value that better and really demonstrate the value that agencies bring to the table. So in all this chaos, agencies ultimately have figured out how to be more relevant, how to decrease the distraction in favor of more action, and particularly focus on 3 areas that we see our true value being for clients these days. That is connected targeting, or smarter targeting, connected experiences, and we've heard a lot of that this session as well, great experiences, and also holistic measurement. So first let me switch and talk a little bit about smarter targeting, because this is really the first opportunity for us to shine. Shifting from broad audiences to more precise consumers, understanding who they are, and then buying them across screens. Now getting to the promise of smarter targeting, getting to that promise was supposed to be actually the promise of programmatic, right? But if you look around at how we've approached this, really getting to programmatic was probably anything but smart in how we often approach it. We repeated some of these same cycles that we've done through digital, right? You start by building a team of specialists, you sit it outside the system, and then you create this standalone culture that doesn't integrate the insights into the whole process. It's time now that we start to bring that data and insights from programmatic into the overall planning, buying, selling, and creative process. And stop thinking of programmatic as a distinct process or distinct business unit. Simply think about it as how we plan and buy around people versus impressions. Smarter targeting, connected experiences, holistic measurement. Where can we start with this and actually move to action? 3 things once again. Let's get real granular here. In the next 2 months, make some commitments to take a step forward and really look at what we can do with smarter targeting and programmatic with our own teams, right? How are we training for it? How are we hiring for it? How are we thinking about recruitment and retention? Can we nail it now? When you look at your next campaign, can you look at what the data is coming from your programmatic team, start to surface that as insights, and stop the second-class citizenry. We need to bring everyone to the table and bring those programmatic talent and insights into the actual process to close this loop. Connected experiences. Again, next briefing, next sales meeting. Please bring your creative partner, bring your story about how you've developed some amazing creative solutions across platforms. I'm hoping that we see in this year's New Fronts a lot more sharing of what works and why across platforms, and hopefully then share too how your content strategy has evolved based on the data you have. Ad labs are fantastic, and I applaud the IAB for all their work with that, but I think we need to get a little firmer too with creating a movement amongst ourselves and our peers to really have a march on mediocre messaging and turn this ship around. More platforms is going to lead to more effectiveness. Finally, holistic measurement, safe data sharing. This is a simple one. Stop saying no. Start saying maybe if. Let's start bringing some more trust back into the buyer-seller relationship so that we can bring some trust back into digital.